Hey, wrestling fans, welcome to the One Wing Wrestling Podcast, where we help you navigate the complex world of pro wrestling, bringing you the best matches, world class wrestlers, and news you can count on. At One Wing Wrestling, we bring the elite to you. My name is Krishna and joining me, as always, is Mr. Bill Cupbush. Bill, how's it going?
Well, I'm going to collide with this cup of coffee in a few moments. And then I'm going to watch an episode of AEW Dynamite in which I might collide with my TV. That doesn't even make sense, but I'm trying too hard. I'm just trying too hard. Yeah, I'm I'm just not good at this word game. I'm just not. But anyway, I do have a really nice fresh cup of coffee, and I'm a little bit I heard the news today, so like that's been what I've been looking into for the afternoon was a lot of the
Nice.
news surrounding the big announcement from AEW. But other than that, yeah, I'm enjoying the weather and stuff right now. It's a little cooler today, but the
Mm.
trees have grown in so nicely that my neighbors can no longer see in my window, and this makes me very happy.
Bill's all about that voyeurism right here.
No, and I know they can't see me really anyway, because the whole thing about light and darkness and sun outside and blah blah blah. But still, it's just nice being able to look at a tree and not some other person's house. So
Yeah.
anyway, how are you doing?
Oh, good, good. I mean, yeah, as you said, yeah, a little chillier day in the city, but again, I don't complain about the colds because I hate the blistering heat we get sometimes. So like, I never complain about the cold. I'm always like, you know what, it's cold, but I'm okay with it. I'm good with it. Um, yeah, nice day outside. We walked from work to Union Station. Nice walk. It wasn't actually that bad. Just like 20-minute walk outside and it's like obviously not the sweltering heat, so again, it's not like anyone was sweating or anything. Uh,
Was
but it's it was a good day. It's a good day. Um, I saw those images you sent to me, which we'll get into. But yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's a good day.
Did you know what's great, Krishna? Sweltering
So,
heat.
no, definitely not sweltering heat. Definitely not sweltering heat.
Yep. Well, I much prefer sweltering heat to chilly cold. I like being warm. These old bones enjoy some warmth. So yeah. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about tonight. Tonight is our AEW Dynamite review, episode number 101. For those of you who may
Mhm.
be keeping track, if you want to check out our big episode 100, it is currently up. But episode 101, we're going to be talking about AEW Dynamite tonight. We're going to predict the show, have a look at the matches. What do we think? Which match is going to be good? Which ones might be, more mid? And, as always, is anything on the show going to reach the Omega level? And then we're going to go watch the show and come back and talk about it all. But before we get into it, we did have a giant Tony Khan's huge announcement tonight has been preempted by a huge announcement this afternoon, which was, in fact, TNT, Warner Brothers Discovery, announcing that there will be a new AEW show on Saturday night starting June 17th this year. Coming from Chicago, Saturday nights, 8 to 10 p.m. The new show will be AEW Collision. And they noted in the press release that certain talents will be, how exactly did they phrase this? It's like it will feature or it will be revolving around. I got to get the exact wording on this, but anyway, the point being there are certain talents that will be tied to the new show, and the ones they announced were Miro, Samoa Joe, Thunder Rosa, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Andrade El Idolo. Now, what I found interesting was that they released a bunch of graphics, and on the graphics, they also had House of Black, Orange Cassidy, FTR, MJF, Jungle Boy, Brian Danielson, Scorpio Sky, and Hangman Adam Page. Now, they were not announced as being exclusive to the show in the same way, or not exclusive. I got to find the exact wording because, it matters. But anyway, yeah, those were the talents, though, that were announced as being tied to the show. No CM Punk. And what I found very interesting was that little clip that I sent to you earlier, which Fightful Select reported just recently that the decision to remove Punk's name from the press release was made very recently, and there are still plans for him to return to AEW. Warner Brothers was told that there are active content plans with Punk as of this week. And it was also noted that Punk himself did not want to be mentioned in the original AEW Collision announcement. This is all just to set up a surprise in my mind, but
Yeah.
is it the,
Yeah.
the worst kept surprise in wrestling, kind of like the first time he came back? But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot to dump on you, Krishna. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the graphics and stuff like that. I'm like, obviously, like, hey, listen, I like Andrade. I actually do. I think what the backstage nonsense was ridiculous. So if he's gonna be in a show, great. Looking at the banner, I'm not gonna be shocked if it's gonna be sort of like, hey, if you're a belt holder, you can jump back and forth from shows, which would make sense, right? Because like House of Black staying specific, like Orange Cassidy only wrestling on Collision and MJF only wrestling. Well, he barely wrestles, but you know what I mean, right? So I kind of feel like that's the what they're gonna do, and that's why they did kind of mention like those names because they're not
Mm-hmm.
belt holders at the moment, right? Like I think it's interesting, even the second graphic where it has Danielson and Jungle Boy, and then on the right hand side, I think that's
That's Scorpio Sky.
Scorpio Sky, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Scorpio Sky and Hangman still in like the blue. We got to remember that Dynamite is their theme is kind of blue, right? It's just throwing it out there, right? Collision of the different, brand, right? Different brands like Raw and SmackDown kind of thing. Yeah, I think honestly, like from what I've heard about Hangman and the whole CM Punk issue, he was actually ready to put it behind him. Like so
Mm-hmm.
again, be professionals. People missing from these posters, are the elites. If you didn't notice that already,
Yeah.
which understandably, hey, again, time heals all wounds, right? So for now, I understand. A rumor that came out about CM Punk's first booking, which actually kind of got me a little bit excited, was CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. That would be an awesome,
Continuing their
awesome
feud from Ring of
program.
Honor from way
Oh,
back.
oh my goodness! Like just the promos,
Yeah.
because yeah, listen. As much as everyone loves CM Punk, Samoa Joe, oh, he's an
I know,
assassin. I
right?
love this guy. So I can't wait. Like,
Nope.
listen, we knew this was coming. I'm kind of glad that we're not playing. Oh my God, is something happening? Kind of thing. Like it's funny
Mm-hmm.
TNT released it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Tony Khan comes out? So my big announcement: AEW Collision is June 15th. Here's the
I know,
graphic.
right?
Oh,
Sorry,
I,
you're already beaten by your own company.
unless Tony Khan's announcement tonight is simply, I know it was CM Punk is off of the image or the graphics here, but what if Tony Khan says with a returning CM Punk,
He might.
right? Right? Because as we'll get into his massive announcement, right? But yeah, my thoughts on Collision. We knew this was coming. It doesn't seem like a like okay. So I'm gonna say something that's gonna contradict myself. So I thought I was let me think about this. So it's going to somewhat be a hard like brand split, but also not be a hard brand split, kind of soft. That's what this is why I brought up the champions. I
Yeah.
believe the champions will go back and forth, and there will be a split between who's like the non-champions on Collision versus
Mm-hmm.
Dynamite. What happens with Rampage?
Well, Rampage becomes dark
Okay,
elevation.
okay, that's okay. That's all right.
Well,
We always say
100%. I mean,
Rampage. Rampage
I'll be
is
looking forward to
yeah.
Rampage every week now because it's
Rampage
not
is a
just
solid
like
solid
the
hour.
show. Yeah, it's a
Solid
solid
hour.
hour of like new talent and blah blah
Yeah,
blah. I would enjoy that a lot. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm actually going to go even further. When I saw these graphics, at first I'm like,
Mhm.
are you really dumping all these guys on one show? And then, first of all, let's look at the wording. I found the wording. So here's the wording.
Mhm.
AEW Collision will feature headliners, including, and then it lists Miro, Samoa Joe, Thunder Rosa, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Andrade El Idolo. That doesn't say anything about these people are exclusive to the show.
Yeah,
Nothing,
feature headliners.
nothing.
Yeah,
And I honestly think that they're just putting people in the graphics as people who will appear on the show occasionally,
yeah.
right? I mean, I don't think there's going to be a brand split, so to speak, except to just keep certain people
People
on
away
one
from other
show
people.
and certain people, well, the legal crap is worked out. I think once the
Mhm.
legal crap is worked out, it wouldn't surprise me if we have a lot more fluidity between the shows.
Listen, I've said this before. Like the Bucks, the Elite, the Buck. Sorry, and CM Punk. They know what's gonna make money. They understand. They're not dumb. They've seen it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether or not they want to work together, it's up to them. But you have to remember that reports were that Kenny and Punk actually spoke after the brawl out,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like those are the reports that came out. And as we know, like the attack really was apparently on the Bucks, is what the CM Punk attack. Well, it really wasn't on Kenny. That's what the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing was coming out. So I would not be surprised if eventually we do see a program between two. Hey, if Punk is leading the Collision guys against the Dynamite guys. Think about that, right? I mean, like kind of like a not necessarily a Survivor Series kind of thing, but you know what I mean. Like these are the way I'm looking at this is a positive. Like honestly, I thought Andrade was gone. I literally thought
Mm-hmm.
he was gone. Right? I know he's under contract, but I just thought he was done. He's gonna
Well,
go
he'll
to
be another bidding war of 2024 guy.
oh god. Um Or really, well, that's okay. But like Miro on these, they're these guys who I think are so talented. Like obviously Andrade in the ring, so talented, right? Miro on the mic, extremely talented. So I'm kind of, I'm actually kind of excited to see these guys back in this new show because at first I was kind of like, really, am I going to watch a show without the Elite on it? Now I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. I want to see what these guys can actually do. Because yeah, it's I think they can do now, the Thunder Rosa thing. Like I don't know, man. Like I like it's great, but so maybe let me clarify this a bit. So what I mean by I wasn't interested is simply I'm a bit biased, obviously, a little bit biased as I wear my Kenny Omega t-shirt here. Um, I had chosen a side. I thought I didn't want to believe anything PM Punk CM Punk said.
PM,
And
PM
I
Punk
was
afternoon
I,
Punk.
I was really behind the Elites, and yeah, I didn't care for Collision. I was like whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was the Saturday show. Who cared? But you know what? Now that I'm seeing the roster, I'm a bit interested. I'm a bit interested now. I want to see how well they do. And hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna compare the shows. Like we're gonna see how this $1 million seller CM Punk can do
Mm-hmm.
against the competitors, the Elite, right? And we'll give our honest opinions. Like I'm gonna give my honest opinion. Like if I see like boring Elite stuff, which I doubt's gonna happen, and like amazing like Punk stuff, I will call it out. I will call out where the flaws are. So
Of course.
I think this is kind of great competition maybe for like the company, right? Like they have their own internal competition, which they can ignore WWE and just do what they do. And who knows? Like I
Oh,
think this is great.
I think they ignore WWE anyway. I mean, and by the way, my comment about whether or not you watch a show without the Elite. Of course, you know where I'm going with this. I watch shows all. I mean, I have to sit
Yeah,
through
yeah, yeah.
AEW without a single Stardom star on it, right?
Yeah.
So, I got to do that every week. I don't get to see Hazuki on Wednesday
Stardom
nights.
Sky.
So yeah, I mean the other elites, shall we say. Um but anyway, yeah, no. I'm looking forward to it too. It'll be interesting to see how it rolls out. I heard an interesting comment. I think it was Lance Storm saying it. I know I heard so much on this topic recently, but it was just, you know, the problem was the way that people grew up in the Attitude Era and now approach wrestling, and it was all about the TV ratings and the
Yeah,
competition and this and that and two companies. And really, that's still what people do now. They're like, oh, how's this one company going to react to the other company? So, but AEW is just established solidly as a number two company now,
true.
right?
True.
And it just doesn't matter anymore what they do against someone else, right? Just do your own thing. They're a
Yep.
different product than WWE. It's a product I happen to like substantially better than WWE. But there's lots of people who like WWE. You know what? Watch what you like.
Yeah, watch whatever you like.
Just enjoy
Exactly.
wrestling.
Exactly.
And you know what? I think anything that creates like almost like pseudo competition between these two and pushes each pushes each show to sort of try to subtly outdo the other, kind of like they used to way back in the WWE when they first did it with SmackDown versus Raw and stuff, and the guys on SmackDown were trying to outwork the guys on Raw, and that's when we got all those fabulous matches on SmackDown with back in the day with like the I forget what they call them, but the four guys like Eddie and Dean Malenko
Yeah.
and Chris Benoit and those guys. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I think that it's going to be an interesting addition to the wrestling schedule, and it'll be 2 more hours of wrestling that we will have to watch every week.
Yeah, and before we move on to the is it 2 hours? I didn't remember. I
It's
thought
two
it was, yeah,
hours.
I don't know why I thought it was an hour for some reason. Yeah, 2 hours. That
No,
makes
two
more sense.
hours.
That makes more sense. And before we move on to the actual show itself, It seems that the Fight Forever may be coming out sooner than we thought, even though we thought it was supposed to come out like years ago. Did you hear about the Fight Forever preloading on Xboxes?
No,
Yeah,
no.
so Fight Forever the game has
Mm-hmm.
preloaded on Xbox consoles for fans who, or not fans, for people who pre-ordered it. The
Oh,
game
cool.
actually preloaded. The rumor, and again, just like tell everyone's a rumor, is that they're gonna try to release the game alongside with Forbidden Door that weekend, which is kind of
Ooh,
cool, right?
another
Um,
birthday gift for us.
there you go.
Hello.
There you go. Right. So I've been like I saw the reports on like it's funny. Fight Forever popped up on my feed a couple days ago, and I was like, "What's happening?" And then people were actually showing that the game was loading onto their Xboxes. So I thought that was kind of
That's
funny.
so cool.
Yeah. So hey,
Okay.
good news. Good news
Yep.
is to kick off the show.
I know, right? Lots of good news. And we have a show, though, to look
Let's
at.
do it.
So why don't we get into actually looking at the matches on
Let's
tonight's
go.
show?
Let's go.
So, what is likely going to be the main event? We have Chris Jericho taking on Roderick Strong in a Falls Count Anywhere match with Adam Cole and the JAS band from the building.
Okay. So first off, I'm gonna say after last week's Dynamite, this card seems kind of mid to me, right? But you know what? I want to be surprised. So this match, I've never seen a Roger Strong match besides the one he had on AEW a couple weeks back, right? With
Mm-hmm.
Adam Cole. Um, so I don't really have a large you know uh workload to work with here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not that excited for this match. I'm really not. I'm excited for Jericho because he's been pushed around a lot. I'm like, are they going to push him around again? It's kind of weirdness
Mm-hmm.
happening with Jericho. Or is he actually going to win? Um, I think like how many matches are there tonight? There are one, two, three, four, five. Is there six?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6.
Okay, so I'm gonna go looking at these things. I'm gonna go with this being the middle of the ground. Actually, no. I'll be wrong here. I'm gonna say this is gonna be number 4 out of 6.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Um, yeah, you know what? Let's see.
Interesting.
1, 2, 3. It's gonna be 4 or 5.
Yeah. See.
Broderick Strong's good.
Hmm.
He's good. He's not great, but he's good. Like I like his wrestling, but I don't love his wrestling. He's in that
Hmm.
category. And current Jericho, I like his wrestling, but I don't love his wrestling.
Same.
So it's going to be that kind of thing. Fall, and there might be some hijinks here. I mean, it's Falls Count Anywhere, so you're going to get a lot of like those kind of spots again. Yeah, I might. Well, yeah, let's say 4 just for fun. I'm not sure I'm going to slot fifth, but oh man, this is a rough one because you know
This
what the
is.
funny part is? There's a couple matches again. I'm like, okay, those should be really good,
Yep.
right? But then there's like 3 of them again that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to slot this in as. Oh man, this is tough. This is really tough. I'm putting way too much thought in this. I'm just gonna say 5.
Okay.
Okay, it's my 5. So that brings us to Jamie Hayter, Dr. Britt Baker, D.M.D, and Hikaru Shida taking on the Outcasts.
This match could be good as well. Um. Uh. ooh, And I don't know. Like. Okay. I'm seeing this. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna put this at number 5. So number 5 and 4 for me can be inverted. I don't
Mhm.
but number 5 because I think it can be good, but I wonder how much hijinks are gonna be in this match, right?
Yeah, we've got some really good wrestlers in this match, and then we've got some possibility for, not so good stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's another tough one. I'm gonna slot it into uh 4. I'm gonna
Okay.
call it 4 because I think Jamie Hayter is amazing. Hikaru Shida
Hmm.
is amazing. Ruby Soho can be damn good in the ring,
Yep.
right? Britt Baker's Britt Baker, right? She's great. Toni Storm's gotten better. Saraya is still a wild card. So, but I think we've got 6 women who can all perform.
Yep.
And I think that in that sense, we may end up with a really good match. So I'm going to slot it at 4 for that reason. I think that if these 6 can have a match and there's not too much hijinks, it could be really good. So there you go. Ricky Starks is taking on Jay White.
Hmm. Wait, did we say 6 matches? So and there's
Yes.
only 5?
No, there are 6. One,
Is it?
2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6.
Oh, okay. All right. So you said Ricky Starks versus Jay White
Yep.
again, a match that potentially has like these like I like Jay White now. Now he's in AEW. He's doing a good job so far. But like this story kind of like, can we move on from you versus Ricky Starks and do something?
No.
Because I don't like it.
Yeah.
And okay, so I'm just gonna slot it in at number three, and I'm gonna put an asterisk on this one.
Ooh.
The reason I'm saying number three is because there's a match that was announced for a person that I love, but it says in action, so I'm like, oh come on, man! Like this is just a squash match against a jobber. So I'm gonna put this in at number three.
Okay. I'm putting it in at number 6 because I have
Okay.
faith that it's not a plus Sammy Guevara could wrestle a
Yes,
broomstick. It
he
would be a
could, and
great
that's my whole
match.
point. I put
So,
asterisks beside that number
yes,
three.
exactly. So I'm calling this number 6. And look, I love me some Jay White.
Mhm.
Okay. But Ricky Starks I find boring.
He
Yeah.
agreed,
Yeah,
agreed.
I don't like his gimmick. Yeah, he's whatever. Fans like him. That's great. Like him. Like him if you like him. Just not my cup of tea. Jay White, I like him. I like Juice Robinson with him. I really wish El Phantasmo would come and they could complete the trio because that would be like one of the best factions in AEW. Yeah, I want to see Jay White beat the living tar out of
Same.
Ricky Starks. So, and I really hope that's what happens tonight. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, yeah, that is exactly what's going to happen tonight. Jay White will go over Ricky Starks. He may have to cheat a little to get there, but that's okay. They're Bullet Club Gold. Then we have Sammy Guevara in action.
So again, asterisks. I've started this one at number six. This one has potential to jump up to number one or two. Just throwing it out there. Yeah, it's Sammy. I'm just very curious who he's fighting. So it's such a weird Sammy Guevara in action. I saw it and I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. This guy needs a good opponent here. So yeah, you know what? I'm sliding at number six for that reason because I just don't know who it is.
Kenny Omega.
Oh my god, can you imagine? Could you
Sammy Guevara
imagine?
in action and battle cry hits. What? um, this could be any number of people. It could be someone, say, stepping through a particular forbidden door. I mean, I realize we're not building to that pay-per-view right now. So I suspect it won't be that because this is just to get Sammy on the card and remind us that he can wrestle in advance of the Four Pillars match. So I think what they forgot to do, they didn't mean to write Sammy Guevara in action. They meant to write Sammy Guevara versus action.
Action and Andretti, yeah, which would
Yes.
be an amazing match because
Which would be
they're
an amazing
awesome.
match. And that's what I'm assuming it is, which is why I'm going to slot this in my number 3
Three.
position with an asterisk saying this could move up. So that brings us to Jungle Boy Jack Perry. He's taking on Roosh.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the match of the night. The Jungle Boy is fantastic. Roosh is so hard hitting. Oh my god, I think he's going to kill Jack Perry. But obviously Jack's going to win. So yeah, I'm choosing this one as my match of the night.
Okay. And I think you'll probably be right. I'm having a hard time between this and the other
Mm-hmm.
match because, Jungle Boy's great, Roosh is great, but the guys in the next match are all good
Mm-hmm.
too. And yeah, but this is a straight up, fight. And I think that you're right. I think that this is going to probably be this is probably going to be the match of the night. I love Roosh.
Yeah, Roosh is
Jack
awesome.
Perry's great. These two guys in a ring together, let's do it. So yeah, let's call it the match of the night. Okay. And then the what I'm going to call the 1B match, Darby
Mm-hmm.
Allin and Orange Cassidy are taking on Lee Moriarty and Big Bill.
Yeah, this is gonna be a really good match. I mean, I had said like a couple weeks ago that Big Bill and Moriarty in a tag team match on Dark were really good. They actually
Hmm.
were very, very good. So I'm expecting big things with now Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. Very odd, two different people in that match. The odd couple. Where's my guy? Where's
Bandito.
Bandito?
He should be in their corner, right?
Yeah,
He
he
should come
definitely
out
should be in
with Danhausen and be in
there.
their corner.
Yeah, but this is definitely 1B to the 1A or 1A
Mhm.
to the 1B. Who knows? This can again steal the show as well. But again, slotting it into my number 2 or 1B. But yeah, this is going to be a good match.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think this match is going to be fabulous. Big Bill has impressed me as the kind of guy who can
Hmm.
work well with smaller guys. And he does his thing. He's a powerhouse and he knows how to play it. And Lee Moriarty is good. So and him against Darby Allin or Orange Cassidy or both of them should be wonderful. And then we get to what I think should be the real main event of the show. We will hear from Don Callis.
This is exactly what I was saying too. This I think this is what I'm most excited for. Um, he's gonna address it. He's gonna obviously say why. I'm curious if Kenny comes out and starts questioning it. So I wonder if Takeshita comes out and tries to ask Don why he did it, like why did you do it, kind of thing, right? I don't know where this is going. Like I have no idea where this is going, right? So that's what's the best part of it. I just don't know what is happening, and I'm excited. Don Callis is the man. You know, like how they have an annoying. Like, remember how they had like Jimmy Hart, right? How he used to, what was it, Mouth from the South? He was
Yeah.
annoying as hell. There's just something about Don Callis that I'm like, he's so like snarky and stuff like that, and I'm like, but he's so good. He's so awesome. He's so over, like that picture of him and Ken, the painting of him and Kenny topless.
My God, the
It
one he
kills
put
me
on his profile pic.
every
Oh,
time. But yeah, I'm the most excited for this.
yeah.
I
Oh,
have no clue what's gonna
oh,
happen.
you mean the other? Have you seen the new one that he
The
just
older
put
one. I've seen
on?
the new one where he's holding him almost
Yeah,
like
he's holding him
Jesus.
like, wait,
Yeah,
it's the in the ring thing from last
yeah.
week where he's holding him after the thing. I was like, oh my God, dude, seriously? That's your profile pic? That's brilliant. Oh, he's such a troll, but he's such a good one.
He's so
Yeah,
good.
I cannot wait to hear what he has to say. This is by far my favorite thing going on in non-stardom wrestling right now. So, kudos to them. This is the best plot line in wrestling, no matter what Konosuke Takeshita thinks. Um, so yeah, I'm intrigued to see where it's going to go. I think that what we're going to witness is the continued isolation of one Kenny Omega from everybody.
It has to
So,
be. He doesn't
hmm
know who he can trust. He has no. He
yep,
says his family betrayed him. He doesn't.
yep,
I feel so bad for my guy. I feel so bad for my guy there.
yeah,
But
I
this
know.
story's awesome.
Yes, it is. It's very awesome. You feel kind of like I felt for like Tam Nakano when both Mina
See?
Shirakawa and Waka Tsukiyama deserted her in one night.
You know, I don't know if this was intentional, right? But you know, like how with the Bloodline storyline, like Roman Reigns has his entire family always supporting him and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And this one is kind of like Kenny Omega. Everyone's lying to him. Everyone is backstabbing him. Like
Right. No, it's not intentional because they're not copying WWE.
no,
They're
I'm not saying
running
they're
their own
copying him,
story. Yeah.
but like I wonder if they saw that and they're like, you know what, we can do this better, right? And this,
No, I don't think so. I think that this actually has a lot of roots in older stories that Omega and the
mm,
Bucks have done before, right? They're kind of replaying a little bit the New Japan story, but now with Don Callis
Don
betrayal.
Callis.
Because you got to remember, when Don Callis joined Kenny, right, in New Japan,
Oh no, I didn't
when
know
he
that.
betrayed Chris Jericho to join
Oh,
Kenny. Yeah.
okay,
So
okay.
this Kenny should have seen this coming because Gallus joined him in the first place with a betrayal.
This is gonna be
So
awesome. I can't
yep,
wait.
I know it's going to be the best part of the show tonight. At least that's what we're saying. That's what we're predicting. Best part of the show. Anyway, why don't we go watch this best part of the show?
Let's do it.
Okay, we're gonna go watch the show, but to all of you guys, it's going to seem like we were never gone. And that was Dynamite. And it came to us tonight from Austin, Texas at the Moody Center. I don't know if it's named after Ben Moody, the Moody Blues, just the people in Austin are apparently moody. I don't know. But anyway, Taz, Toni, and Excalibur are on commentary. And we open with Wardlow's music. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Wardlow arrives on the scene. He makes Batista gun motions on the ramp, almost doing the actual machine
Yeah.
gun. His shoes. I have to stop and talk about his shoes. It looked like he was wearing house slippers with no socks. Did you
Yeah.
see his
It
shoes?
looked like he was wearing loafers. Yeah.
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 The hell was that?
That's a style, Bill. You're just too old to understand the style that these young people are wearing these
It's
days.
like him and Ricky Starks. They both did.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
I'm
There
like,
you
what is
go.
wrong with you people? Anyway, if it's a style, it's a terrible style. Yes, I'm old. Okay. So Wardlow gets a mic and he says, last week, Christian made promises that I want to see him follow through with. That's kind of weird, Wardlow. Because he asked Christian to come out and spit in his
Yeah,
face.
I was like, what?
You
Okay.
actually want him to follow through with that
Sure.
promise? Anyway, so Christian comes out with Luchasaurus. Wardlow tells Christian he doesn't have the balls to do it. Christian tells him he doesn't have that Wardlow doesn't have what it takes to be champion. And then he goes to spit in his face, but Wardlow grabs him by the throat. Luchasaurus attacks Wardlow. Wardlow gets the better of both of them until Christian low blows him. Luchasaurus gets a ladder. He then hits Wardlow in the hands with the ladder.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think it was supposed to look more like a headshot, but Wardlow totally ducked and put his hands way up and it just hit the hands. And Luchasaurus then choke slammed Wardlow through the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
And then Christian hit the kill switch on the ladder.
Yeah. No, I mean, this was fine. I mean, Wardlow got destroyed in after the block of
Mm-hmm.
the ladder the first time. Like he went through that ladder, then Christian had to stomp it and back into place, and then again kill switch on the ladder. But I think Christian took the brunt of that kill switch on the ladder.
That's quite possible. And Wardlow was selling his nose.
Yeah, yeah. No, this was fun. This was
Yeah.
fun. Trying to build up Luchasaurus. I wasn't really a fan of Wardlow getting the best of both of them at the beginning. I'm like, if you're gonna build up Luchasaurus as this big guy to be afraid of, why
Mm-hmm.
is he just getting pushed around? Like,
I
right?
know.
So, yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting opening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't hate it, right? But I just
Yeah.
came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I guess they had to build the match for the pay-per-view, and that's
Mhm.
fine. I mean, it was fine for what it was. It was like I kind of, oh, okay, so we're starting the show like this. That's
Yeah,
fine. I like to hear Christian talk more. I
same.
wished he'd had a mic, but fine, whatever. It went, and then we get a quick recap of Don Callis betraying his son Kenny, and then we have Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy taking on Lee Moriarty and Big Bill. So Cassidy's back and hands are taped up. He's really starting to sell that this championship run has been really hard on him. Moriarty and Cassidy started off. They go back and forth with pins, and then Cassidy does his hands in the pocket thing, and they both tag out. Darby sends Big Bill to the outside and tags Cassidy, and they hit stereo tope suicidas to their opponents. But back in the ring, Big Bill sends Cassidy out of the ring with a big boot, and that begins the heels working Cassidy over for a while, including Moriarty dancing and Big Bill mocking the crowd repeatedly. Cassidy gets a tag on Allin while he was in a vertical suplex, but the ref didn't see it. Cassidy goes for another tag, but his back seized after a leapfrog. He finally shoves Moriarty into Bill and tags Allin, who goes nuts on both guys. Multiple charges into the corner. I mean, fast. Bill goes for a choke slam, but Darby fights out. But Bill pulls Darby off the turnbuckle and nails a spinning boss man slam, one of Bill's top 5 favorite moves. Darby fights out of a full Nelson, though, and tags Cassidy, who hits a DDT on Bill, but his back is too hurt to capitalize. Moriarty comes back in and rolls Cassidy, because apparently Bill was the legal man. I actually rewound it to try, but yeah, there was never a tag. Then hits a spinning face buster before locking on the crossface. Cassidy escapes with a roll-up for 2, then sets Moriarty on the turnbuckle before tagging Darby. They hit a double superplex, but Bill returns and lariats both of them down, but then Cassidy counters with the Stun Dog Millionaire, holding it so that Darby's able to jump over him and land the Code Red on Big Bill. Cassidy then hits the beach break on Moriarty and clears Bill from the ring with an orange punch. Darby hits the coffin drop on Moriarty and then gives him the snap mare and pins him for 3. Which was, of course, a message to MJF.
Yeah,
What'd you think?
obviously. I know I had fun. This match was fun. This like as I said, Big Bill and Moriarty know how to be a really good duo together. And them versus Orange Cassidy and Darby was just a fantastic like match, because what I see is Big Bill like showing his power, right? And he utilized that a lot. So I appreciated that. Um, cheers, or I said big ups to Big Bill for taking that code red the way he did. I was like, that's a code red on a big guy. Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Because the code red is basically the Canadian Destroyer. And the
Right.
Canadian Destroyer, you have to flip yourself over.
Yes.
And he did it.
Yes.
Like, remember, 7 foot Big Bill did a fantastic.
Yeah.
Great match. I had so much fun. I still put this match as my number 2.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a
Ooh.
1B.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed
Yep.
it.
I enjoyed the match.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say anything in it
Mhm.
completely blew me away. Of course, my computer has now frozen. So one moment, please. Do. I don't know why it's doing that. There we go. Technical difficulties, people.
Mhm.
Technical difficulties. But to return to the match, yeah, the match itself. I mean, there was nothing in it that I went, except for maybe the code red. And I was just more like, oh, that was kind of impressive. But there wasn't anything where I went, oh my God, that was phenomenal or anything. It was solidly wrestled,
Mhm.
right? Solidly wrestled. I enjoyed the match, but there was a lot of good wrestling tonight. I
Mhm.
think I enjoyed a lot of the matches more than I thought I was going to. And that put this one into the number 4 spot for
Okay.
me.
Okay.
Nope. But there was a lot of like me thinking about this tonight. So, I enjoyed the match. That doesn't say anything wrong, but I would have given it about 3.5 stars. Solid match, good spot, good win. Did what it needed to do for Darby Allin. I liked the snapmare at the end. I wish he would do that from now on going forward. Like that's his actual finishing move. It's like he's pinning everybody with snapmares. That would be pretty great. Well, we go in the back and it's the parking garage because Alex Marvez has found the Bucks. And Alex says, hey, you guys got an update on Kenny Omega? And Matt says, well, he's physically banged up, but mentally he's hurting. And then the Blackpool Combat Club shows up, a brawl ensues, and the Blackpool Combat Club wrecks the Bucks on the trucks. And Mox says, we are the elite, the only elite in this business.
I like that. I thoroughly enjoy that. Like I love how they just creep into view behind them,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh, it's a three. And the Bucks like, we're not gonna fight, and the Bucks try to attack, and then just get taken out by the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yep.
Yeah, I love the fact that Mox says we are the lead around here, not
Mm-hmm.
them. It's us, and I was like, this is cool. I enjoyed this spot.
Yes, it was very good. I also enjoyed it. And apparently, it was also something happened to Alex Marvez at this point, and he was forced to not do any more interview segments for the rest of the night because, or else Renee was like, hey, I thought I was doing all the interviews tonight. What's that guy doing there? Because,
Maybe the Blackpool Combat Club beat him up
well, yeah,
off
because
camera.
Renee is Mox's wife.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what are you doing interviews? That's my wife's job. So, speaking of whom, Renee is in the back with Wardlow in the trainer's room and says, do you have an update on your condition? And Arn Anderson walks in and he says to Wardlow, I should have been out there with you. And Wardlow's like, nope, this is why I didn't want you out there with me. And Arn says, I've been doing this a long time. The real question is, what are you prepared to do? And Wardlow says, I'm going to beat him at his own game. Christian, let's have a ladder match at Double or Nothing.
He's gonna beat Christian at a ladder match.
Yes.
Sure. Um, yeah, I mean this again, this is ridiculous. This is stupid. I don't like the Arn Anderson and Wardlow together. Like everything Christian said is right. I
I
mean,
know. Go
Arn
back to
joined
your
the
son,
yeah,
Braun.
yeah. I don't care about this. I really just don't care
Mhm.
about this.
Yeah. I don't either. I'm kind of sad. I mean, I think the only reason they can have a ladder match is because now Luchasaurus can be involved
Mhm.
constantly. So if
Yeah,
Christian does win, it'll just all be Luchasaurus doing it. So I don't know. I'm not enthused to see a ladder match between, an aging Christian and
yeah,
Wardlow.
yep. I agree.
Krishna, did you know DraftKings sponsors AEW?
I know. I couldn't tell. Like it's like wait, Draft Kings?
Yes.
No, like maybe if they had like banners up, maybe if they had like their opening that had DraftKings on two of the three large screens when they first introduced Dynamite, maybe I would then maybe I would
Yeah.
but even then, like I'd have to have the announcers like basically talk about DraftKings every single minute. Then I would believe DraftKings sponsored
Yeah,
them.
I know. I thought so too. I'm like, what a shoddy advertising job, right? So we then get Renee in the back with Orange Cassidy. And she says, you were jumped by Kyle Fletcher. I think he wants your championship. And Orange Cassidy's like, well, lots of people want the championship. If you want a shot at Double or Nothing, go find Tony Khan and ask. I'll fight everyone. And then he looks at her and he goes, I need a chair.
Yeah, this is Orange Cassidy's so hilarious. Like this is so great.
Yep.
He's hurting. They're playing it up that he's hurting, and I love it. I love he's like, yeah, I'll fight anyone. I'll fight everyone. I was like, that's
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. I love
Yep.
it.
Yep. Well, then Sammy Guevara's music hits, and we get his big surprise opponent, the already in the ring Exodus Prime.
So Exodus Prime
And
he's been on Dark before.
yes, he has. I've recognized him. Sammy hits the GTH and gets the 3.
Yeah, this was my number 6 match because
Yes.
I said it wasn't gonna be a match. If it was a squash match,
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
Number 6 match.
yeah,
Waste of Sammy's
yeah.
wrestling
Waste of Sammy
talent.
because then what happens after? You're like you gave so much time to these other people and you gave Sammy Guevara like a minute.
Yep. I know because he gets a mic.
Mhm.
and he cuts a total babyface promo.
Oh yeah.
Every time I'm here, I remember the old days, wrestling the indies up and down Texas, the struggles, good. And the crowd was like cheering.
Yeah.
There was no
Yes, they were.
Sammy sucks chants or
Nope.
anything. I think they've been
He
watching that
doesn't.
All Access show or whatever it's called. Um, and all of that brought me here and made me who I am today. I know I'm not perfect. I made mistakes. I've grown up right in front of you. Sometimes it takes a few wrong turns to get to the right place. There's him owning up for his heel stuff.
Hmm.
Las Vegas, May 28th. When I get to shut up all the naysayers who said I couldn't do something, I listen to my heart, the shit you can't teach, can't learn. And it says at Double or Nothing, I will be the new world champion.
Yeah, it's babyface promo. Like Sammy's fully turned babyface now.
Yeah.
Part of the JS, but he's turned babyface. But no. I guess they wanted him to cut a promo. That's what
Mhm.
this was for. Like it was good. I mean, like the pillars all got to, show something today, yet Sammy's got a minute to crush somebody. Like maybe the best out of all of them got a minute to crush everybody. Anyways, but that's okay. I mean, at least like they're progressing the story. We asked for it, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm waiting now for the eventual confrontation with Chris Jericho again, where he's like, You said you're not going to be a follower anymore," because this comes
Yeah,
later.
that's
Yes, but
it.
we'll get to
That's
that later. We get a recap video of all four of the pillars. It was fine. Any comments on
yeah. No, it was good. It
it?
was
Okay.
good.
And then we get Toni in the ring. Toni was working hard in the ring while Renee was working hard outside the ring. So Tony's in the ring and he introduces Jeff Jarrett and crew. But before they can even get off the stage, and they come out with twin red guitars with Dax and Cash written on the back of them. FTR attacks the whole crew before they even leave the stage. They immediately shove Satnam off the stage and through a table. They brawl at ringside, taking out everybody. They get Jeff Jarrett in the ring and they set him up for, the big rig. But out of nowhere, Jarrett's wife, Karen, and I think she came out of the crowd and not from under the ring, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
So,
correct. Out
yes,
of
yes,
crowd.
yes, that's okay. That's good. Sure, because we know how much I hate the under the ring spots. Anyway, Jarrett's wife, Karen, then low blows Cash. Jarrett hits the stroke on Dax, and Satnam, who is recovered, comes in, double choke slams them, and then they get blasted over the head with guitars.
Yeah, this got more time than Sammy, and I was like, really, this beatdown got more time than Sammy? Like Tony, you're really pushing this match. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna be a bad match, but I'm like, man, you're really pushing this match. I was like, okay, sure. It's funny that once again, tag team champions just get beaten up. So they got beaten up one on one. Now they're getting beaten up together. I'm like, oh, what's the point of these
Mhm.
guys even having the belts?
Well, no, but that's the whole point, right? They're the heroes, so they will be beaten up constantly until they get their comeuppance at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, sure, that works.
There you go. Yeah, I didn't really care about the segment, to be quite honest with you. I'm like, oh, okay, it's these guys, and they're going to beat them up and hit them with guitars. Okay, cool. Renee's in the back with Darby Allin. Renee goes, "Congrats on the victory. You won with a snapmare message." And Darby's like, "Yes, we're 10 days from Double or Nothing. It's the biggest match of our careers." So Sammy shows up and he says, "We have a unique history, but I respect you. You said something to me a couple weeks back. If I want to be something, I need to stop being a follower. Well, I'm not laying down for anyone. Whether it's me, you, or Jungle Boy, one of us needs to take the belt off that dick." And Darby says, "May the best man win."
Yeah. So again, what's the name? Sammy kind of going face, saying he's not going to lay down for everyone, for anyone, I should say.
Yep.
How that bodes for the JS, who knows? Um, yeah, no, it's this is good. This is good. I love how the focus is on the pillars. I like it.
Yeah, no, and they did it again, right? They kept reminding us all through the
Mhm.
match, all four of these guys going to be in the main event. I like that stuff. Let's keep them in the spotlight if you're not going to have all of them in matches. Although they had well, all of them in matches, but
Yeah.
they had them all in matches and had them talking. So they're doing a lot. Then we got a tag team match, which was originally a trios, but Jamie Hayter is not cleared to wrestle after
Hmm.
being injured by Toni Storm, apparently. So we get Dr. Britt Baker, D.M.D, and Hikaru Shida taking on the Outcasts, Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. It starts with the Outcasts jumping them in the ring before the match starts. But Shida comes back fast, suplexing Storm into Soho and pounding on Soho on the turnbuckle, followed by a missile dropkick. I love Hikaru Shida. Ruby counters with a knee strike, though, and tags Storm, but Shida hits a high kick and tags Baker. Baker pounds Storm down, but when she goes for the curb stomp, Saraya interferes, allowing Storm to send Baker to the floor with a hip attack. Saraya beats Baker down on the floor while Storm distracts the ref. With Baker isolated in the corner, they work her over for a while, including Storm hitting her with a snap suplex for 2. But Britt finally manages to get a cutter on Storm and makes the tag, and Shida beats the hell out of Soho with forearms. Like this was right out of a Stardom match. This was just like vicious beatdown with forearms, followed by a plancha to the outside, hitting all 3 of the Outcasts. She then hits Soho with a jumping knee for 2. Storm tries to interfere but eats a kick. Shida then hits a Falcon Arrow for 2 and tags Britt. Britt hits a butterfly suplex, followed by Shida hitting a Meteora, but Storm breaks up the pin. Britt causes Storm to accidentally DDT Soho, but Soho counters the lockjaw, rolling out and hitting the No Future, tagging Storm. Baker counters the let's sit down with Toni with the air raid crash and hits the curb stomp, but Saraya distracts the refs. Storm sprays Britt's eyes, and they hit the let's sit down with Toni for the 3.
Well, let's sit down, Tony. Yeah, no, I enjoyed this match. I thought it was great. I thought the 4 of them did a good job. I think yeah, the right person won for the build that's coming, I guess. Yeah, this was great. Shida is awesome. I gave this my number 3 spot. I thought it was just a great match.
Yep. No, and it also got my number 3 spot because
Okay.
I also thought this was a damn good match. I really enjoyed this match.
Mhm.
So, and I mean that beatdown spot, no one among the AEW women does forearms like Hikaru Shida.
That's right. I agree.
Absolutely destroyed her. I was like,
Mhm.
that way to go, girl. Way to go. Kick her ass. Yeah, I enjoyed that on that Falcon Arrow. Perfect.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, Hikaru Shida is amazing. I look forward to seeing more of her. And then we get guess who? Renee, but she's in the back with Orange Cassidy again. And Renee says, "Well, you said anyone could talk to Toni, and 20 people went in." I'm just going to pause there for a minute and go, that line itself is one of the most awesome things I've heard, because usually it's like, well, this guy issued a challenge or
Yep.
this guy stepped up to the challenge. We've always said when someone issues a challenge like that, why aren't there people clamoring in the back to do it? Or like someone issues an open challenge and there's literally people fighting to run on the stage, right? 20 people lined
20 people.
up.
They lined
I
up.
love it. Orange Cassidy goes, 20. That's a lot.
That's all.
Well, I guess I'll fight them all. And I'll be there too. So 21. Battle Royal for the title in Las Vegas. And then he turns to Renee. Oh, wait, did you want to be in it? Renee says, no, I'm all set, but thank you.
Awesome. No, this is awesome. Orange Cassidy's so, you know what? I want him to win this match. I really want him to win this match. He deserves it after everything he's gone through. Like we're talking about title runs. Imagine he goes in and beats all 21 people to retain his title. Then he might have the best title run that we've ever had in AEW.
He
Right?
absolutely has to win this
Yeah,
match.
yeah. So he has to. Like he's beaten down. He's broken. Yeah, he has to win this match. He has to. So yeah, this was great. I love the Renee. Do you want in? Like,
Yeah. Unless you want in.
he's
He's
like,
going on about 21. He's
yeah,
like,
he's like
wait, unless
21.
you want in.
Yeah, he's like 21. Las Vegas. Let's do like a blackjack battle royale. Unless you want in, Renee.
Yeah.
She's like, no. This is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I love it. I love it. I'm actually looking forward to this. Good way to do the battle
Yeah,
royal. Actually make it
yeah.
mean something.
Mhm.
So cool. And then we get Tony Khan with his big announcement, which was already done earlier in the day by Warner Brothers Discovery. And Tony
Yep.
Khan says it is one of the greatest days in the history of AEW. Basically, Collision is a thing on June 17th.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
And Toronto's going to get one of the Collision shows the night before Forbidden Door.
24th.
Yes,
The
June
24th.
24th. Yes. And then he says, well, we're going to announce where June 17th will be next week. He knows that the Chicago June 17th show is like public knowledge, right?
Like he understands the internet exists, right?
Yes.
Okay, just wondering, because like, first of all, you announce you have a big announcement, and then Warner Brothers announces it. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows it's gonna be in Chicago. So
Yes.
why would you say, oh, next week we're gonna find out where it's gonna be held? The crowd should have said Chicago. Right? Like, just
Exactly. Just start chanting Chicago. Like I just
Tony.
Googled AEW Chicago June 17th. All
Yeah.
Elite Wrestling tickets, Ticketmaster. Get your tickets to see All Elite Wrestling in Chicago on June 17th. AEW presents, well, they're calling it Dynamite Rampage tickets at the Wintrust Arena in Chicago on the 23rd, 21st. So it looks like they're staying in Chicago for the 2 days. Collision will launch on June 17th, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Chicago people, Chicago.
Yeah, Canada's getting a lot this
Well, they're
summer,
doing the
eh?
Owen Hart tournament, right?
Yeah,
You know,
that's awesome. No, this is great. This is great news. I don't know. They're gonna announce more information about the show, where it is. Maybe announce some wrestlers and stuff like that. But yeah, this is good.
we shall see. Yes, I like the idea that they're starting off Collision basically by touring Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then we get Chris Jericho taking on Roderick Strong in a Falls Count Anywhere match where the JAS and Adam Cole are banned from the building. So this starts off. Strong hits Jericho before he even takes his jacket off, including a jumping knee to the face and running forearms. They chop back and forth hard, like hard. Early in the match, Chris Jericho's chest was literally bleeding from
Yeah.
being chopped but at this point, Strong plants him with a suplex for two. Jericho finally reverses him though and sends him to the floor with a lariat. Strong counters again with a back suplex on the apron for two. They fight back and forth again until Jericho throws him into the timekeeper's table back in the ring. Strong counters the code breaker, but Jericho re-counters with the walls of Jericho until Strong reaches the rope. Strong bails to the outside, but Jericho throws him into the steps and into the crowd. They brawl up the stairs where Strong drops Jericho's ribs on the banister. They brawl some more. Then Strong does it again and covers him for two. They fight into the mezzanine where Jericho suplexes Strong through a table for two. At this point, we are informed by the announce team that superstar Billy Graham has passed away.
Yes, that's right.
So, in the middle of the commentary here, we will also like to extend our condolences to the family of
Yeah,
superstar Billy Graham.
agreed.
He literally was one of the first wrestlers that I remember ever like seeing on WWE television. I was just listening to Dave Meltzer talk about his career the other day. It was very interesting. But anyway, essentially, without superstar Billy Graham, you probably wouldn't have had Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm. Just a very
Strong.
odd spot to announce it, though.
It really was. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if they could have waited till after the
Yeah,
match,
after the
but
match,
yeah.
just make an announcement after the
Yeah, I
match.
mean it is sad news. He's been
Mhm.
battling a number of illnesses over the years anyway, but he was one of the greats. But
Mhm.
in the middle of the match, a little bit of an odd placement for the
Mhm.
announcement. But anyway, because I mean stuff's going on in the background and they've just stopped calling the commentary.
Yeah.
But anyway, Strong puts sanitizer in Jericho's eyes and back suplexes him onto a counter. They brawl further, and Jericho nails Strong with the stanchion, which is, for those of you who don't know, those poles that hold ropes that can rope off areas. They brawl into the stairwell and fight on an overhang, chopping each other some more until Jericho nails a running elbow for two. They fight back into the mezzanine. Jericho gets a chair, but Strong throws cutlery at Jericho, then smears Mr. Softy in his eyes. Mr. Softy is apparently a brand of soft ice cream. They brawl into the concourse. Strong's bleeding from the shoulder. They end up outside. Strong backs off, though, acting like he's all afraid of Jericho now. Jericho asks if he's scared. Will Cole jumps Jericho from behind because they're outside, nails him with the boom. Strong hits a jumping knee and gets the three in a flower bed.
Yeah. No, listen, I had so much fun with this match. I really did. Like this today was really hard because you're right. Like I thought this card was gonna be this mid, and it
Mm-hmm.
ended up being pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So I gave this match my number. What did I give this match? I like out of yeah, I gave this match my number four. But it was easily like one of the top ones on the show. It
Yep.
had
I gave it.
sorry,
No,
go ahead.
go on. No, go
No,
ahead.
no, no, I was just gonna say I like they had two okay matches for me, and one of them was just not really a match, but everything else was great, I thought, on the show.
Mm-hmm. No, I enjoyed this a lot.
Mhm.
I guess a little more than you because I aimed at
Okay.
my number two match of the night, which oh man, those chop battles, man, I just love them. So yeah, when they were going back and forth like that, I was just like, man, these guys are killing each
No,
other, right?
listen, Roderick Strong, when he hit that knee to Jericho's head at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, I was like, did you watch that? Because you hit him hard there. I was
Yeah,
like, holy crap.
they fought very snug in
Mm-hmm.
this match, which
Mm-hmm.
like they're both vets, they know what they're doing,
Kudos to
right?
Jericho. I have to
Yeah,
again at his
yeah.
age doing this stuff.
Yep.
Who
Well,
knows?
Roderick Strong's not that young anymore either.
How old is
So
he?
I'm not sure, but I know he's not that young. But yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of this match. I mean, for the kind of match it was too. I
Mhm.
mean, they actually pulled it off pretty well. They did some interest, like a lot of the times these brawls end up with just whacking people with random stuff, and they did a little bit of that. But they actually pulled off sequences in parts of the arena that made sense for the environment, and
Yeah,
I liked
agreed.
that.
Agreed.
Like the stuff on the stairs made sense, hanging them up on the railing. Like that back suplex onto the counter, and that
Mhm.
counter, like it's the real counter. This is not some gimmick thing. He back suplexes him onto a counter.
Yep.
Ouch. It's just there was a lot of good spots in this match, so I enjoyed it. I mean, the ending to me was a little predictable, but I actually
Yeah.
thought it was going to be predictable the other way.
Same.
I thought the
Same.
Jericho Appreciation Society was going to jump Roderick Strong.
Nope.
But no, it was actually Adam Cole getting the better of him, and Roderick Strong gets the victory, but it still keeps Jericho strong because it was interference from Adam Cole.
Agreed. Yep.
Yep. Did you find Mr. Strong's age there?
I did. He's 39 years old.
39? Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I think I mix him up with Bobby Fish, who's like 48 or 49 years old.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. You're right. I think like he's exactly. He's not a spring chicken, but
Mhm.
like he moves. I've been impressed with the body of work I've seen so far. 2 matches
Yep.
with Roderick Strong.
Oh yeah, and already I'm liking him better than I did during his NXT run. But this
Oh,
seems to happen
yep.
with these guys when they come to AEW and are just allowed to actually, wrestle
Wrestle.
their style. So yeah, I'm enjoying Roderick Strong on this run. Then we get Roosh and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Perry goes to shake Rush's hand at the beginning. Apparently, he has never seen a Roosh match in his life, has no idea who this dude is. Roosh literally pushes him out of the ring, and it begins. He
Oh.
whips him hard into the barricade, and then running whips him again into the barricade, and again, and again. He rams his head into the barricade repeatedly, then busting him open. He drops an F bomb in Spanish at MJF and then throws Perry over the barricade into the crowd and returns to the ring to pose. Roosh continues to just beat the hell out of Jack Perry. And he tells the crowd, enjoy me. So Taz then on comment, this was obviously during the commercial break. Taz was then telling Tony how he gets along with Roosh. Roosh is actually a nice guy, and he gets along. And Tony says no one gets along with Roosh. And Taz says, "Listen, I talked to the guy in catering. Okay." So Perry finally comes back with some forearms. I love the commentators during the commercial. Perry finally comes back with some forearms, but Rouge no sells the clothesline and kicks him some more. Perry chops and kicks him, but Rouge hits a jumping knee. Perry comes back with a drop kick, but Rouge hits a thrust kick, climbs the turnbuckle. Perry catches him, but they fight on the turnbuckle. Perry actually hits a Hurricane Rana and gets the snare trap locked on. But Rouge reaches the ropes and smears Perry's blood on Perry's face, then licks it off his own hand and rubs it on his chest. They fight on the apron. Rouge sends him off the apron to the floor with a side belly to belly suplex to a holy shit chant from the crowd and me sitting there with my mouth open.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a two with a cocky cover. You don't usually get two with that one. Roosh drops him with another elbow, stomps him down in the corner. I mean, this match was like 95% Roosh.
Rouge. Yeah.
Yep. He tosses the ref back though, because the ref is getting on him about too many stomps in the corner. And Perry takes advantage of that distraction with the second most dangerous move in wrestling, the distraction roll up, grabs the trunks, and gets the 3.
So this match, I love this match, first of all. For maybe not the reasons everyone may have liked this match. I love this match because it just showcased Roosh for who he is. He's a monster, absolute monster. And he should have won this match. Like I know why Jungle Boy won this match, but Roosh dominated. So and it didn't make him weak or anything. This just pushed Roosh even further. I love Roosh. I think he needs to be on TV like as much as possible. Right? Jungle Boy actually looked weak and here's an issue. You're trying to build this guy up, and he kind of looked weak against Roosh because Roosh destroyed him. Absolutely. Yeah, Jungle Boy got some stuff in here and there, but Roosh manhandled Jungle Boy, right? Maybe they're kind of building up like, no, he just won't stay down, kind of. He's gonna keep fighting, kind of thing, right? Which is cool. Yeah, I thought this match was fantastic. I loved it. I cringed at so many parts and Roosh was beating him down. I'm like, how do you block these moves? Like, how do you do these things? Like, Jungle Boy, I don't understand. You must hate like your body or something like that. But yeah, no, I had a great time. I cringed. I laughed. Roosh is hilarious. Roosh is one of those people where like he's such a jerk, but you can't help but cheer for him. He's so funny, right? Um, and yeah, Jose was there for a little bit. He tried to interfere a little, but no, beatdown was full on by Roosh.
Oh
So
yeah.
so yeah, no, I thought this match was great. So I gave it my number one spot.
Oh yeah, it's easily the match of the night. Easily. I enjoy this match so much. I mean,
Hmm.
from start to finish. And the ending was exactly what they needed to do too, because yeah, Jungle Boy beat Roosh with a roll up, but he had to pull the tights.
Yep.
And that was also demonstrating the only way Jungle Boy could beat Roosh was by doing whatever it takes.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. Oh, smart,
You know,
smart AEW. Okay.
Yeah, he had to do whatever it takes to beat Roosh, which is something he's been criticized for by MJF. Like
Hmm.
there were messages sent everywhere. Darby winning with the snapmare, right? Sammy saying, I don't need people. I'm not lying down for anyone. Jack Perry winning by, essentially cheating to win.
Hmm.
They're all sending messages to MJF in their own little way. I thought it was brilliant personally. And just Roosh's beatdown was
Oh.
just relentless. You're right. I laughed, I winced, I went, oh my God, when he pulled that belly to back off the
Hmm.
apron. And I thought, you just killed Jungle Boy. He's
You
dead.
just
He's
threw
dead.
him away
Yeah,
like
it's
he's
like he's
nothing.
dead. He's dead. Yeah. Yeah. Roosh is something else. He's just
Yeah.
he's phenomenal. And I just want to see more of him in the ring because he's so good. And it's like
Hmm.
he's fast, he's
Hmm.
athletic and he's strong as hell. Like he's so good in the ring. So
With Collision coming, I wouldn't mind seeing Rush and Andrade team up again,
oh yeah, they're a great team.
right?
Yeah,
So
and leave Preston Vance with them too. They need a
yeah, yeah,
lapdog.
yeah, 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 yeah. Three of them. Yeah, I agree. I
Mhm.
totally agree.
Yes, El Perro Pequeño. Exactly.
So good.
Okay. And then we go to guess who? It's Renee. And she's in the back with MJF this time. And Renee says, your championship's going to be on the line at Double or Nothing. And by the way, MJF is like pacing, looks
Hmm.
all pissed off, running his hand down his face, all that kind of stuff. And she goes, the champ doesn't need to be pinned. How are you feeling? Dumbest question ever.
Yep.
So he just knocks the mic, I mean, like hits it hard out of Renee's hand and leaves.
I love it. I thought it was that this is exactly what you needed.
Mm-hmm.
You're showing that the champion has some doubts now in him.
Yep.
He doesn't have a get out of jail free card suddenly. Sammy's not going to do it. Jungle Boy is willing to do whatever it takes, and Darby hasn't forgotten. Right? Darby has
Mm-hmm.
not forgotten. So this is such a great build that it's making the fans think any one of these guys can win.
Yes, but MJF, as we all know, is
We know
keeping
it's
his
going to
title.
win.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. But hey, great build. Great build.
Oh yeah. No, they can like look. The other three guys talk or express things in the ring or whatever. Oh, we never even got to the post match. I completely skipped the
Oh
post
shoot,
match of the
yes.
last one.
Shoot,
Yeah,
shoot,
that's
shoot.
we're
Sorry.
going to make rewind sounds. Okay. Which kids today, I guess, wouldn't know because they don't actually rewind tapes anymore. Anyway, Roosh and Preston Vance beat on Jungle Boy after the match using an extension cord. Darby comes out, gets choked down, but the Sammy Guevara comes out and hits Roosh with a high knee, Vance with a thrust kick, and Darby hits Jose with the Scorpion Death Drop.
That's
Poor
right.
Jose, the assistant, gets hit with the Scorpion Death Drop, and all three pillars are left in the ring looking at each other. So that's how we left off the three pillars before we got to the MJF stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is great. Exactly. They've seemed to have buried whatever issues they've had because they have one goal now,
Mm-hmm.
removing that belt from MJF. So this is great.
Exactly, which is exactly what you want these three guys to be
Mhm.
going into Double or Nothing focused on.
I wonder
So
if they would consider having a the next match before Double or Nothing be like the three, and I know it's probably not gonna happen, but the three of the four pillars, so the three of them versus Roosh and Vance. Sorry, Roosh, Vance, and MJF, right? Like a triple threat match, or not triple threat, but a trios match. Because you could technically have that, but I
you
guess there's
could,
not
but
enough time.
you heard what Roosh called MJF in
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Spanish, right?
exactly.
Like
Yes.
yeah, that was not very polite of him. So so yes. Then we get a recap video of Jamie Hayter's injury by Toni Storm, and Renee is in the back with Toni Storm. And Renee says, you've had 4 wins in 5 days. That's a record here in AEW. And Jamie said, And Toni says, sorry, not Jamie. Toni says, Jamie hasn't even done that. She didn't even turn up tonight. She goes, I'm a different animal now. So if you have any guts, you'll come to Las Vegas and put the title on the line.
Yeah, they need a women's championship match, I guess, at the show. So they're gonna give it to Toni. Hey, she's been doing well
Yep.
since this new attitude change. So this should be a good match.
Yeah, I was looking at her going, I can see now why you were a member of Oedo Tai. Okay, it,
Hmm.
it, it fits. It fits. I see it now. Then we get Ricky Starks taking on Jay White. White bails immediately to the floor, but Ricky catches him back in the ring and they go back and forth in the ring and on the floor until White hits the pot shot for two. Starks reverses him in a moment though and hits a back body drop. White bails to the floor again, catches Starks, running him into the apron. They brawl on the floor. The crowd's very split. Back in the ring, White nails a dragon screw, which Starks begins to sell for a bit. White then hits a side slam for two and locks on a waist lock for a long
Commercial break.
time. I know, but all the other ones had
I
commercial
know.
breaks
I know.
too, and they didn't do that.
I know.
Starks fights out and they trade chops. Starks hits a lariat but grabs his knee. He hits a reverse atomic drop and a running knee, then belly to belly suplex, followed by a tornado DDT for two. That description sounds more exciting than it looked. But White comes back with a DDT, running uppercut, and hangs Starks on the rope, followed by a high Uranagi for two. He puts on a rear naked choke, but Starks fights back until White tosses him over the top rope to the floor. Back in the ring, Starks gets an inside cradle for two, then hits a swinging net breaker and a body slam for two. Juice then trips up Starks on a run, and White rolls him up for two, but Starks hits a spear and goes for the Rochambeau. White gouges his eyes to get out of it. Juice comes in with a chair, but Starks disarms him, hits him, then hits White for the DQ. And that was your main event of the night.
Yeah. First of all, I was shocked when they said this was the main event. I was like, main event? What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, wait, isn't Don Callis coming up anytime soon? And then they're like, okay, he's after. Yeah, this match was everything I thought it was gonna be. Right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, mid. I gave it my number 5 spot. Nothing impressed me really about this match. Jay White has wrestled way better than this. Ricky Starks has wrestled way better than this. I didn't really understand what was happening here. That that's a waist lock where he was like trying to hulk up and get out of it. I'm like, it's a freaking waist lock, man. Like, what the hell? Yeah, I wasn't really
Mm-hmm.
impressed with this match.
I know they're like, oh, but his ribs were hurt ages ago. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I've seen both these guys fight better matches than this. This was and the funny part was this was the only match on the night that got a "This is awesome" chant from the crowd. So
Yes,
maybe you and I just have no idea what good wrestling is. I don't understand. But I would like to also point out the "This is awesome" chant is most commonly associated with a certain company that puts on
mhm,
matches that look exactly like this all the
true,
time.
true.
So perhaps that's why people thought this was awesome, or maybe they were chanting it ironically.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm going to
I
go with
don't know.
that. They were totally chanting it ironic. What I didn't like was Starks sold the dragon screw, sold a little bit. White never capitalized on it. So he starts working on the leg and then completely ignores it for the rest of the match. I'm like, really? And then
Yeah,
Starks sells it briefly, but then stops. And they just go back to, we're just going to exchange a lot of moves.
yeah.
And it was slow. Like I realized this. I was typing going,
It was
I'm
slow.
able to keep up with this. Like normally, like, oh my God, some of those matches, I'm like frantic. I gotta rewind a few seconds or whatever. Like, like this one, I'm just like, sentence, wait, sentence. I'm like, is this what it would be like taking notes watching Raw? Because holy
Yeah.
crap, is it ever easy? Right. But I mean, yeah. So this was like also I had to thank them for going this slowly because it was a nice break at the end of the night. So yeah, my number 5 match as well. And it's only number 5 because Sammy fought a jobber.
Exactly.
Yes. Not what I would call a classic Dynamite main
No.
event, and one we will likely forget within a week's time.
Yeah. Agreed.
Tony Schiavone then brings out Don Callis, and Tony says it gives him no pleasure to introduce him. There is security guards flanking the ramp because apparently Don Callis is also scared of Wardlow. So security guards are flanking the ramp while the video of the betrayal runs as his entrance vid. The fans are chanting "piece of shit." And Tony just goes, "Why? Why?" And Don Callis says, "Everyone wants to hear me talk about why I did it." what I did. But instead, I'm going to talk about what Kenny did to me. Make no mistake, there's only one victim in this scenario, and it's not Kenny, it's Don Callis. After everything I did for him, IWGP World title because of me, Jericho at the Tokyo Dome because of me. My first night here, we won the World Championship. Without me, there is no Kenny Omega. And Battle Cry
Ooh.
hits.
Oh yeah.
And at that moment, the security guards are there and they try to block him. And Omega pulls a Wardlow and begins to beat down all the security guards. But coming out on the ramp behind Omega, the Blackpool Combat Club shows up. Mox gives Omega the paradigm shift on the ramp, and Mox gets a mic yelling, "The war is," like they get in the ring. It's like, "The war is already over, Kenny. You and your pissant friends can't touch us. You never could. This is your final warning, Kenny. Stay down. We
Mm.
are what everyone else in this business pretends to be. We are the elite." And the Bucks come out now at this point. They've got a trash can full of weapons, including Kenny's barbed wire wrapped broom. But then Hangman Adam Page's music hits. He comes out wearing an eye patch. Kenny hands him the barbed wire broom. All four of them charge the ring. They brawl, and somehow they get Yuta isolated in the ring, and they beat the living hell out of a
Yo.
BTE trigger buckshot lariat. Hangman gets a mic at this point, and he says, "We are the heart. We are the soul. We are the spirit of this place. We are the elite. So run and hide while you can, because at Double or Nothing, it's the elite and Blackpool Combat Club, anarchy in the arena." And Mox just kind of gives that nod that Mox will give, going, "Fine, that's how you want it."
Yeah. No, this is great. This was a great ending to the show. Still hasn't resolved much.
Nope.
There's so much. There's so much. I can't believe it. Like the whole fact that they're the elite now, they're back together. They are gonna do the blood and guts, not blood and guts. Sorry, Anarchy at the Arena. I like Anarchy at the Arena. I think it's a fun match they have. Um, but there's so much. There's so much. Like Kenny still has to confront Don. Like it's like the Bucks, sorry, Matt Jackson and Nick haven't still not told Kenny about what's happened. There's so much happening that something more is coming, and that's why I'm like, oh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah. And Don never explained himself at
No,
all. He's like,
no,
"It's your fault, Kenny. Without you, there is no." And then Kenny came out and interrupted him. So we still don't know what Don Callis meant by
the
"I'm
what?
the victim."
Yeah,
Right? We have no idea. And though they brought out the Blackpool Combat Club, I don't think they're affiliated in any way,
no,
shape, or
they're
form.
not. They're definitely
So
not. They're just running around beating up the elite whenever they can. That's what
exactly,
they're doing.
because they're the real elite. Yes.
I love that.
So
I love
yeah,
it. This
no,
was
it was
great.
great. You see
Yeah.
the elite standing together for possibly the last time in the
Hmm.
ring together.
I
So
it's definitively the last time they're standing
yeah, I
together.
know
I
there's
feel it.
something's gonna happen at Anarchy in the
Yeah.
arena. You
Oh
just
yeah.
know it.
Kenny's turning on them. He's turning on them at the Anarchy in the Arena.
Or gets turned on, one of the two, or just leaves them
No. Oh my
depressed,
god. Oh
or
my god. That would be the worst thing. So I was like, oh, Kenny's gonna turn on them. I'm so happy. Then they turn on Kenny. I'm like, poor Kenny. Right.
because where were the Bucks and Hangman when Callis attacked Kenny?
That was that's a good question. Where were they?
I'm
Remember,
just
no,
I'm
remember
just
they
saying.
remember Kenny, remember the Bucks had got taken out, like they were fighting the Blackpool Combat Club when they got, but interesting. Where was Hangman? No,
Mhm.
listen, I'm with you. Something is happening at Anarchy in the Arena. It's gonna be the match of the night. Maybe depending on
Oh,
what
that
Cassidy does.
four pillars match should be pretty
Oh,
damn
sorry, the
good
four pillars.
too.
I
Yeah.
keep forgetting the four pillars, but this is the one I'm really excited for because the four pillars match, we know what's gonna happen. This match,
Do we?
something. Hey, if Tony Khan pulls a fast one on us, I'm not going to be upset with that four pillars
Nope.
match because if any one of those guys win that belt, I will be happy.
Yep. Well, hey, no one thought Tam Nakano was going to take that belt off Julia, and it happened.
Who? What? What are you
What do
talking
you mean,
about?
who? What?
Tam Nakano is on Dynamite. I didn't know that. Julia? Like, oh, you mean Julia Hart? Gotcha. Okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And Bill, her name is Hikaru
Oh,
Shida, not Tam Nakano. I don't know how you're mixing up people's names like that. So Hikaru Shida, Julia Hart. Just throwing it out there.
thanks, Krishna. I appreciate the
I
correction.
correct you on that one.
Yep. Much appreciated. Well, that was how Dynamite went off the air.
Mhm.
So, anything on this and on the show reach the Omega level?
No, no, nothing. I don't think anything on the show reached the Omega level. They had great stuff on the show, but like everything seems to be building, right? So I wouldn't be shocked if we come out of Double or Nothing with saying, hey, some of these things hit the Omega level, right? Just based on the build itself. So I am ready for Double or Nothing.
Oh yeah, no, this was great. This was a really solid show. It did exactly what it needed to do, you know.
Mhm.
Um it built, and like you said, it's building and building. It's like I feel like the matches are building. I mean, I still don't care about Wardlow and Christian Cage, but
Same.
there's got to be some matches on the card that I don't really care about. You know,
Yeah.
you can't, not all of them can be gems. I'm interested to see what Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm can do. You know, I mean, they built it up reasonably well, but I
Mhm.
mean, Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite, they've just gone nuts with this. And I mean, you know, look, the build for FTR and Jarrett and them, it is what it is. But I mean, even though I don't like the build, it's not a bad build.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they've tried very hard to give us that sports entertainment-y type build with these guys and the whole Briscoe farm and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. So I mean, we got some interesting matches on this card. I really don't know why we need so many gimmicky matches,
No, I agree. I agree.
but you know, special guest referee, ladder match, anarchy in the arena match, right? Like, really? Okay, whatever. I guess we need lots of gimmicks, but hey, that's that for me is just nitpicking slightly on a card that I'm betting I will enjoy the hell out of when we
Oh hell
watch it
yeah.
on May the 28th. So just a week and a half away now.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep. So yeah, I didn't think anything on the show was a mega level. The Roosh beatdown was close. That
Oh,
was
it was up
almost an
there.
omega
It
level
was up
beatdown.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Like
pretty
Again,
great.
I like Jungle Boy won that match, but Roosh came out the stronger person in that
Oh,
match.
hells yes. But I
So
mean, Rush is a bigger, stronger guy than Jungle
yeah,
Boy, so that also makes sense, right?
that's
I
true. That's
mean,
very
you
true.
know, a guy like Jungle Boy is going to have to fight uphill against a Rush every time. And next time, maybe Jungle Boy will actually watch a couple of Rush's matches first and know what he's up against, so he doesn't try to shake his hand to start the match off. Like, seriously, dude, seriously, that was
No.
like the blunder of the night.
Yeah.
I'm just going to offer to shake Rush's hand. Aw, you're such a sportsman, Jack. Anyway, well, that brings this episode of Dynamite and One Winged Wrestling to a close. But as the great one always says, goodbye, everybody. Mwah, and good night. Bang.
Good night, everyone.